everyone, Linda here, the scrapbooking photographer. I'm joining in today on a hop to celebrate the marvellous achievement of Shannon Blinn of getting 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations, Shannon, that's a huge achievement. And you've got some great layouts there for people to look at on the YouTube channel or on Instagram. So on YouTube, you can find Shannon at Scrapping with Shannon. And on Instagram, you can find her as One Scrappy Mum 71. So I'll put those links in the description below and check out what Shannon's been doing on YouTube. There's some great things there that we can all get inspiration from. So to celebrate today, Shannon has asked for us to scrap lift one of her designs, and I have gone for this one. Now, there were several there that I could choose from, and I really loved the one that she did recently with her dog, but I just didn't have enough cutouts to make it work. So I'm going to go with this one with all the striped papers. And the photo I'm going to use is this one of a butterfly, which was in a butterfly hothouse sitting on some leaves. So I've been through and selected some papers that I think will go, and from the look of the sketch, we need 1 inch wide of 9 of them, and then a 3-inch width of the 10th. So it's a matter of choosing which one I want to have on the side. So because this photo has the butterfly facing into the left, I'm going to make it the right-hand page of a double page spread. Shannon's is facing the other way on the left-hand side, so I'm basically reversing it all. So the paper in the middle will be the 3-inch wide one so that I can extend that on the left-hand side. So I'm thinking I might bring the black in underneath here, just because the black will be on that side of the photo. So I will obviously take the white piece off this. These photos, I've got this one on this side and that one on that side with it, which was taken the same day, different butterflies obviously, but we were in the hothouse, and these photos have been used for competition entries at club level, and they were stuck to specific mounts for that purpose. And when I take them off the mount, I put them on this piece of cardboard so they don't stick to each other. But it'd be nice to get them in an album where they can be shown off properly. Here we go. So now I've got a spare space for some more photos, and I'll pop that one to one side for another day. So I'll just go through and take the white off here, and I'm going to mount this one in black, and then we'll come back to the stripes. So the butterfly now has a black mount instead of a white one, and I think that spottily lighter black will go nice on the edge of the page, and I do have another sheet that I can use on the left-hand page. So I've gone ahead and cut 1 inch off it to make it 3 inches. I should have perhaps made it a little bit wider, and I have made all the other strips 1 1/4 inches, just so that I have a little bit of an overlap when I stick them down. Now I'm using them on the Versamat so that I can use the grid to line everything up. And as I go through them, I'm just trying to see what goes best together. So it's a matter of shuffling them around a little piece. I don't really like those 3 yellows in the same place. And as you can see, I swapped the greens around. And I think that floral piece needs to come in behind the butterfly. So yes, I swapped that around there because I will put some things on the outside of the photo. So I'd prefer plainer papers behind where that's going to go. And I've also got this piece of vellum, which I thought would look quite cool just to soften some of the colours. So I've cut it in half. I think each of these strips are now 3/4 inch wide. And I just find a couple of spots to place it, generally over the yellows, I think, because they're quite bright. And as you can see in the photo, the butterfly's yellows are slightly more muted. So then I can go through and stick them all down and then put the butterfly on. But I'm a bit disappointed that the 12 by 12 piece of cardstock is actually 12 and a little bit by 12. So I've had to go through and trim a little bit off so we get the papers going right to the edge. These die cuts are cards that came with a cardstock carnival from Close to My Heart a couple of years ago, and there's lots of different colours in there, so I go through and pick out different sorts of things that might fit, and these butterfly from another set, and look through my dies to see what else I could make. And then I find this one which was made for a card. Now ideally it's just to make some embossing butterflies really, with some little cuts that work on a window type effect. So I decided to try it on a piece of fairly thick green vellum backed with a piece of black cardstock as a bit of a shim to try and get those embossing bits to cut through more. It didn't really work, so I do need to use my scissors to fussy cut around the outside of them all. I did wonder if some of it might work as a bit of a cluster border effect on the outside of the photo, but it's opaque enough to cover most of the colours underneath, so I didn't really like the way that worked. So I think the pieces of butterfly individually cut out and placed over that side will work quite well. In Shannon's page, her photo is full of beautiful colours and flowers and all sorts, and she has mirrored that on the outside of her border, which works really well. But I just feel in this instance my butterfly is pretty plain and kind of dainty looking, so I wanted that to be reflected on the outside as well. You'll see that I've just used the handle of my piercing tool to just curl the wings of the butterflies a little bit, just to separate them a bit from the page. And I've also discarded all the bright colours that I took out of the die card set. And I've gone just for this one colour that I think blends well with the darker green of the vellum paper. So I've gone for some flowers, a few leaves, and I've also pulled out a camera from this sheet, and that's the only colour that I will use from that set. So I'm intermingling them here with the darker green butterflies, and I'll put a leaf down the bottom left just to balance that as well and bring it across a bit. And then I'll have some things left on that sheet to put over on the left-hand side as well. And I think the butterflies over there will also bring in some other colours, so I may use some of the brighter colours on the left-hand page. So I've put a couple more butterflies that I've cut out of the vellum in different places. Here's the camera I'm just going to put down on the right-hand side because it was a camera day. I was there with a photography friend, and we had a lovely day in the very warm atmosphere that these butterflies get to live in. And I'll just finish titivating with these little pieces of flower and branches and a couple of extra pieces of the vellum butterflies that I cut out and put on there. And then I can stick everything down, and all that remains then is a little bit of bling to be added. And in my stash I found some holographic butterflies which I add in around the place, along with some silver glitter gems which brings a little bit of sparkle to the page also. And that's about it for my page for this hop. Congratulations again to Shannon for reaching 1,000 subscribers. I encourage all of you to look at everybody who's listed in the hop below. There will be so many different pieces of inspiration that you can gather from watching the other creatives on this hop. If you like this sketch, feel free to copy it either from myself or Shannon's sketch. They're both a little bit different with the basics the same. And there's some room to bring all those colours over to the left-hand page when I get to completing that. Thanks so much for watching, and happy crafting, everyone.